All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Firestarter Coffee podcast. My name is Jai. I am the owner of Firestarter Coffee. I roast fresh coffee beans, sell them online, and I do farmers markets and sell in person too. Sell cold brew. And this is just about me trying to grow my business and talking about where I'm at and where I'm going, and just some other random, pointless stuff I'm thinking about. I made a couple notes, couple things I've just been thinking about lately. If you want to fill your brain with some nonsense for 20-ish minutes or so, while you're on your drive to work, or you're working, or you're playing Xbox, or contemplating your life, or whatever, let me just try to get some things out and keep practicing. I'm only on episode 4. Still not very good at this. I'm not a huge talker, unless I'm really talking about something I'm passionate about, which I guess in the case of this is the case. But this is slightly uncomfortable for me, but I'm going to keep trying and hopefully get some of you guys interested in, my company, and, maybe we can find something in common. But yeah, first thing is I had these hats made. Finally have hats. I'm really excited about them. This is a camo hat with a black back, adjustable back, and it has my company name on it. This one is a black one. It has, if you can see, it has company name on it also, bright orange lettering. The lettering is stitched into it, which is great. It's a higher quality, and I'm trying to keep them priced reasonable. This one is $25, and this one is the one I'm wearing. The all black one is $20 or $19.99 to you guys, plus shipping. But I'm trying not to. Sometimes hats can be $30, $40 to $40, and I don't want to do that. I want to incentivize people to actually buy it, and if you're going to be kind of repping or advertising the company, then I don't need to charge you an arm and a leg to do that. So hopefully you guys like them. They're like the trucker hat style, and they're adjustable. They fit really well, and I'm excited about them. I also updated the shirt I have. I changed it to a full black. This is a heather, is the old one, but the new one is a full black, 100% cotton. It's a little softer, and it kind of soaks up moisture a little better. So hopefully that's a little better too. But every week, every few weeks, or every few months even, I'm either making something new or adding something or improving something. And that's kind of just what having a business is. I mean, you start with an idea. Sorry, my throat's a little, sorry if that's kind of loud whenever I do that. Yeah, whenever you start a company, you have an idea, and then you have a basic product or service, which is probably a little rough around the edges, but some people might respond to it in a positive way. And as you go along, you keep adding more and more things, and you just kind of slowly keep updating things and improving things, and all of a sudden you have a whole bunch of things to keep track of at the same time, and a bunch of things to be improving, and then it starts to almost be overwhelming, but in a really positive way. That's kind of where I'm at now. Even though the business it's not a huge business, it's not even enough to make up for my full-time job that I was laid off from earlier this year. I'm not even there yet, but I'm still staying busy with it, and it continues to grow. It's still only kind of like a side business, and I'm still on the job market. I'm still trying to find a full-time job, because I'm hoping to be able to do this on the side. It's very stressful to have to rely on something that you've just started, because the money isn't really there. So I actually do have a solid interview next week for something I'm really excited about. So, but hopefully I can get back into the corporate world and just for that stability and for that structure. And, I do well. I really, truly do well in that environment. But I'll continue to grow this on the side as much as I can and see if I can grow some kind of online base, like for doing media and podcasts and stuff like that too. That's would be exciting too. I've continued to do the farmers markets every weekend. We did one this weekend again. And it just continues to be an awesome thing. Like, our sales weren't that great this weekend, but we still sold a decent amount of coffee, whole beans and the cold brew. And we just got to meet people and tell them about our company, and people were interested in it, and they seemed to really like the coffee, and it's just a great feeling. I mean, there's nothing like meeting people face to face and sharing your thing and people being interested in it. I mean, it's really cool. It's really rewarding. Not to, I say that every week, but it really is. The other thing, I have acquired a sorry, I keep I woke up this morning and I really was feeling slow. I really did not want to wake up. I didn't want to do anything. Just feeling pretty slow today. But it's important to keep showing up and doing stuff and giving some structure for your projects, even when you're not feeling that great. Everyone shows up to work, regardless of how they're feeling. So you got to do that for your own thing too. It's too easy to take shortcuts, and I do it sometimes too. So. But yeah, I acquired a whiskey barrel, a used whiskey barrel that had, whiskey aged in it, and it was drained and dried out, and it has that kind of remaining aroma and flavor to it on the inside. So I am going to age some coffee beans in there and see how it turns out. I'm going to try maybe for a week at first, see how it turns out. Roast it, and then see if I need to do less time or more time, because that's my next product I'm working on is, excuse me, I need a burp. That's the next product I'm working on, which I'm hoping is going to be a big one, and then I'll have to figure out how to grow, how to get more barrels and maybe bigger barrels, to hopefully accommodate for sales. But that's the next thing I'm working on. I'm really excited to see how it turns out. I've actually never, I've always heard about whiskey barrel aged coffees, and I've seen them and I've smelled them, but I've never actually tried it. So it sounds like something I would love, since I'm a whiskey bourbon person, but you never know. You see mixed reviews online. So I'm going to hopefully figure out how to make a really solid product and get it out there and see if you guys want to give that a taste too. The other thing I'm thinking about is we're kind of in the middle of the summer months with the farmers markets. And I'm thinking about the fall and winter months, because around October, November, markets are going to dry up, and that's where we're making a lot of our sales week to week. So while I try to connect with people there and acquire new customers and get them to start subscriptions and get them to buy the coffee online, most of my sales are coming from just in-person market sales. So when those markets end, I'm going to try to do, any Christmas markets I can do. Maybe I'll, in addition to coffee, maybe I'll sell like a hot chocolate or something where coffee sells best in the morning. So if I'm doing something in the afternoon or evening, especially for the more Christmassy markets, I might have to come up with something else, but we'll see. I'm going to figure that out. I'm also going to have to figure out advertising a little more. I'm not a super great advertising person. I haven't really done it in my corporate professional life, and I haven't really done much of it here either. So I'm going to go hard on, pretty soon here, I'm going to go hard on social media ads, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube maybe, but But also, I would like to have my company name, the Firestarter logo, pop up at events that are, recorded, like videotaped, like sporting events, or anything like that. It'd be great to have my logo associated with sporting events. I just got to figure out which ones that would align with my branding, but also wouldn't be terribly expensive. So, I'm not gonna go for like NFL or MLB or like UFC. Those are this company's less than a year old, and I'm just funding it myself. So maybe someday, but I'm gonna go for the smaller ones. Personally, I like gaming. Gaming and like honestly, like maybe like a Renaissance fair or like a medieval type thing, like something that wouldn't be super expensive, but I could put the logo on some event. That would be exciting. It'd be a good way to, attract a, cool, interesting audience. So I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna work on that among all the other stuff I'm doing, and hopefully be able to pick up some more fall and winter sales with advertising. What else am I thinking about? I got the t-shirts, hats market. A few random things I was thinking about. I was thinking about the news. I was thinking about AI. Maybe we can talk about AI. AI is it's a very interesting. I'm certainly not an expert, but I think about it a lot, and I've been pretty concerned with the possible downstream effects of it. I noticed that even I will literally just Google something, and I will only reference the little AI synopsis that it gives me because it's so comprehensive and it answers exactly what I was thinking of. Like, it doesn't even matter what it is. It just does. And that's, a valuable thing, in that very small, like, simple context, but it's also concerning. We're going to have so much, we already do, but we're going to have so much AI generated videos and content and information that's a compilation of other information that came from like a human source. I wonder what happens when the compilation of AI information is compiling information from other AIs. In that case, you're gonna be more and more removed from the human source, if that makes any sense, or if I'm even right. I don't know if I'm even right about that, but it just feels like we're gonna have more and more layoffs, more and more people not being able to find work. More and more greed by big corporations and people that want to lay more people off and hoard more money. And their products and services and their customer service especially is going to degrade. It's going to become poorer and poorer. People do not, especially with customer service, people do not want to interact with these AI bots, AI phone people. They've been trying to do that for 20 or 30 years already with, the phone people, and people are already all this, we know that people don't want that. I mean, companies might like it because it can kind of get the job done for so much cheaper, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how we integrate that technology more and more into our culture. I'm also worried about it making us dumber. The internet and smartphones have already made us dumber individually on our own. We're a lot smarter than we were 20 years ago, but only whenever we have the phone in our hand and when we can reference things quickly, because we have that extension of knowledge connected to us at all times. Whenever you remove that and you're just out in the woods somewhere or whatever, your internet's down, we're going to become more and more useless because we're not going to hold information in our brain because we don't need to. So we're not going to hold information in our brain. We're not going to practice exercising our brains as much. We're just going to get dumber and dumber while we get smarter and smarter, if that makes any sense. That's concerning to me. So, do your crossword puzzles. I don't even know what I'm talking. I just roast coffee. I don't know why I'm even talking about this, but it's just stuff I'm thinking about. I'm trying to fill time. And trying to make a podcast. But let's see. Okay, other thing I was thinking about, the news and politics, more and more, I guess it was always like this, but it feels so much to me like you're in high school, like you have a bunch of people in one little group, in Washington, gossiping about each other, talking smack about each other. They all know each other's dirty business, and they're just goofing around, acting like idiots all the time, and we are all watching it as if it's like some drama. Or, really they're just acting like high schoolers. I mean, these are supposed to be grown adults that are making decisions about our country, but they act like children. They just talk smack about each other. They gossip. They don't work together very well. I just had that thought the other day when I compared it to high schoolers, and it's amazing how those people seem so immature. And when I was younger, I thought, adults, older people, and especially like government, politicians, news people, I thought those were like the mature people who had it figured out, and they're intelligent, and they do the right thing, and they're you grow up. I'm about 30 now, so you grow up and then you realize, everyone never really has people just haven't really grown up. You realize that people never really lose that childish, annoying stupidity from when they're, like a kid. And people just really aren't that smart. And in some cases, I feel like I'm smarter than the people that are supposed to be smarter than me. It's really weird thing. I was thinking about, it'd be nice if people were a little more diplomatic and a little more intelligent, and it'd be nice if you could feel like people, politicians and government people and news people. It'd be nice if you could feel like they are diplomatic and really knowledgeable, and good, well-meaning too. But it's just not the case. It's just unfortunate. So those are our high schoolers that are in power. Last thing I was thinking about. Okay. This is not coffee related anymore, but I was thinking about the difference between people who go out and do things or try things, whether you're physically going out and doing stuff, or whether you're just sitting at home, like making videos about stuff, or maybe writing about something, or whatever, creating something, or whatever it may be. The people who are actually trying and are actively failing and trying again and reiterating and putting themselves out there, they're the ones who are keeping the world turning, keeping the world moving along. They're also the ones that receive all the criticism from the people who are not doing anything. The people who are sitting at home, not doing anything. Maybe they have a job, but they come home and they're talking smack on the internet, or whatever it may be, the critics. And there's definitely a place for critics and people like that. And we all have a critic inside of us, but I was just thinking about how frustrating it can be to be the person who's trying to make things work and trying to put yourself out there and trying to maybe move people in a certain direction, or maybe you're trying to build a business, or maybe you're trying to help someone, or maybe you're just trying to get an idea out there. at least you're out there trying. At least you're the one keeping things moving, and you're the one who's going to be making a difference. And you're going to figure out what the right things are, what the wrong things are. And you're going to keep the world turning while all the other people who are criticizing you are not. They're not really adding any value. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that is if that's coming across in the way that I'm hoping to, but just thinking about the difference between people who do stuff and people who don't do stuff. And the people who don't do stuff seem to have the biggest mouths. I'm not even really talking about me, because I don't receive a lot of criticism. I'm just coffee roaster. I'm just selling coffee at farmers markets and trying to be nice to my friends and family. So I don't receive a lot of criticism, in general, except for maybe a random comment here or two, an obvious troll who it's like whatever. But I'm thinking about it in just the greater context of society. And yeah, I guess if you're someone who's out there trying stuff and has an idea to do something, and maybe you're being held back by starting something or trying something or saying something because you're afraid of getting criticism or backlash, I don't know, just try not to worry so much about it, because usually the people who are criticizing are not they're not doing anything. Or they may be wrong, or they don't know, or they're just throwing hate, or they're jealous, or whatever it may be. I don't know. I say that, but then at the same time, like, you need criticism. You need people to check you whenever you're doing something really wrong. So I guess it's just a balance. I think those are my thoughts for the day. I really did not want to talk today, but I figured I need to just try with the few dumb thoughts I had. So I got the new hats, got the new t-shirts, still roasting coffee every week, fresh coffee. I think people are still really liking it. I still drink my own coffee every day. It's fresh roasted. I always roast it fresh. Either it's been roasted like less than a week before you order, or I'll roast it after you order. And it'll always show up to you fresh. So I'm still roasting coffee, still doing the markets, still thinking about stuff that I have no idea really what I'm talking about, with AI and politics. I'll never go too deep into politics, because I'm not, I'm not super smart when it comes to that. I just have kind of gut feelings about certain things. But if you're listening, thanks for listening. This is the Firestarter Coffee podcast. Maybe next time it'll be a little more organized. Maybe I'll have more interesting things to talk about, or maybe one of these days I'll find someone else to talk to, so I'm not just talking about stupid stuff for 20 minutes on my own to nobody. So if you tuned in, thank you. All right, bye.